Cam, stopping the run obviously is going to be a big concern for you guys, given how good the Browns are there. Just in what areas have you seen the most growth from last year in that regard, and how much more do you feel like you guys still have to do to get where you want to be?
I think there's just little things. We have to continue to keep playing better, no matter the situation. A couple times, you look at the opening drive and the ending drive. They were able to sustain drives, and we can get off the field, and it cost us some points.
Cam,
some time.
What did you do well against them last year in stopping the run?
It was a collective thing. I don't think it was just one person. I think, obviously you have to control the C&D areas, and it's usually not one guy tackling Chubb. It's multiple guys, and we all have to be responsible for, stopping this rushing attack.
How much is percent? How much? Go ahead, Mike.
Since they went to the zone blocking scheme a couple years back, that's when they've really had a lot of success. What kind of stress does that, in particular, that scheme present to a defense? What are the keys to shut it down?
First it's everybody staying in their gap. A lot of times a guy can get reached and put everybody at risk because he's not in his gap. The C&D areas, like I mentioned before, really become critical because as they get stretched, you can either get upfield and create a vertical seam, or you can get pushed back and then they continue to run the edge and then they get upfield. And that's what I just mean. It could be just a front seven problem, but it's an 11-man group problem. And guys got to make sure they stay in their gaps and make sure they play with good extension to get off blocks.
Cam, how much will Brissett use his legs? How much is that a concern?
He uses his legs when he has to. I think, it's not just him going out there running, acting like he has to do too much. It's a thing where it's a last line thing. He's checking downfield. He's making sure he can get the ball to his guys, but he's a strong runner in himself. So if he does have to run, you got to put full body weight on a guy like that because he's able to just, he's similar to like how young Ben was, where if you don't tackle him, he's going to shrug you off.
Cam, you mentioned the details on Sunday. How quickly can you clean those up, given it's such a short week and going against a divisional rival?
I think it's very critical. We want to have success, and it's a copycat league. They're going to do the same things. It comes down to guys just continue to keep learning, understand your mistakes, and grow from them.
You guys added some pieces to the defense with the hopes of stopping the run. Just what kind of a difference have you seen with Miles Jack and Larry in the fold here?
I think both of those guys just play downhill. They're very physical at the point of attack. I know it's really prevalent with a guy like Miles Jack. You can see when he's coming downhill. But Larry, I think he plays with good leverage. He's able to always kick that line back a little bit more. And we're going to need it. It's not just we need him for one game. We need him for the entire season. So I'm just looking to keep growing with these guys. These guys are really good, and they're going to make our defense better.
When you looked at the tape, Cam, how did the collective effort look to try to replace or get around the absence of TJ in week one?
TJ does some really good things. We didn't get a chance to really rush the passer as much as we wanted to and get into a chance where they got to throw the ball downfield. So those third manageables become, run pass options. You're able to throw the ball a little bit quicker. You're able to, throw a ball across the middle. When you do that, that lets you know that you're not stopping the run as good enough. And then when you're trying to pass, it really, it's Steelers' choice. We just have to make sure we clean that up a lot more. And when we do have them in those longer distances, keeping them at bay at that.
Cam, when the offense is working on some things, do you talk to your guys about, hey, we need to be perfect, we need to prop them up now, and maybe they'll do the same thing for us later type thing?
I understand we're not going to be perfect. There's no group, no person that's going to be perfect. But we got to do a better job of just being complementary. The first game I thought we were very complementary. Touchdowns, providing short fields. There's growing pains that are going to happen. New quarterback, some newer pieces on the offensive line. So be it. But we all have to be responsible for that. Offense is going to, take their lumps, but I'm not running away from it on defense.
All right.